Hello, welcome people on my channel Heavenly Life on another video, and this video is really important and interesting also for you because it's about getting to know me, because I want to share more about me, about my background, about my life, about who I am a little bit more, that you get to know me and also why I even started this channel. And yeah, I think that's something really interesting because there are people that follow me and they kind of don't know who I am, why I even started this channel. I think that's something important that you have to know. That's why let's continue. So, the first thing, I am now nearly 35 years old and I'm married. Here you can see it, to a really pretty and good heart woman of God. It's really a gift. My woman, my wife, is really a gift from God. Okay, she helped me through really tough times already in my life. Really tough times. When I say tough, it was tough, but it was not only tough for me, it was also tough for her, because when we got to know each other, I was still a religious believer. I was a Christian. I was saved already by grace through faith. I believed that in that time also, but how I behaved and what I had as priorities, that wasn't somebody that was saved by grace, but I believed that I was saved only by grace through faith. I tried to please God as somebody who's not God the Father, but more as like God the slave master, okay? So I was a son, but I behaved like a slave. And it is still something that God is working on, okay? But He changed a lot. I mean, just the recent 3 years now, He changed so much because I understood more what grace means for my life personally. That grace is not just something that is just there to save me, but that I can grow in having more grace, okay? And you can read that about Jesus. He grew and he had more wisdom and he had also more grace with God and with people. Interesting, right? So, grace today means something to me that is undeserved. And it's not just that I'm saved undeserved, but it's like every day is something that I get as a son of God, that is not something that I deserve to have, nothing that belongs to God, nothing that I have that belongs to the Father is something that that I've put the effort in to deserve it. It's nothing that I've put just enough effort now that I can say it's mine. I deserve that. No. And this is grace for me. Like, I know God is providing for me. That's grace. That's just, something I cannot work enough for. I just can't do enough to please God. But when I started to understand grace, from this life that I had, I was a son of God. At the same time, I was living like a slave. I behaved like a slave. I was doing the stuff that's like a slave. Because I already try, all the time I just try to please the Father. Like, he's not pleased because of Jesus, but because of the things that I'm doing right now. And I'm not saying right here that it's not good to do things to please God, to do the right things for God, to be obedient to God. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying right here that I lived a life where I try to please a slave master so that he will not beat me, that he will not, get angry with me. I was fearing God, I believe, in a wrong way, not as a father where I really had that respect. I just wanted to honor him and thank him with my life. And that's why I wanted to be obedient, but it was more out of fear of punishment. It was more out of fear, him being angry about I'm not putting enough effort to please him. That's something else. And that's not the life of a Christian when he really understands more what really grace is, the grace that God gives us every day. So that's how I started as a deep religious Christian, and now I'm understanding more, and now God is really shifting things in my life, and yeah, I'm just happy, and I believe my wife is also more happy now. But I believe every Christian has his time where he is religious and where he then really grows in faith and in grace, where he is really also growing in wisdom. So I believe every Christian goes through parts of this. But here I am, I'm thankful that God has already changed a lot in my life. Now I understand more that He is my Father and that He is providing for me because He loves me, not because I put enough effort to do everything to please Him, so He provides for me because I try just to push Him to do certain things. That was my life in the past, okay? Now that I've said this, how did I start it with YouTube, I always really wanted to be a person that was a person that was courageous. I always wanted to be courageous. I always wanted to take steps and be obedient to God, honestly. But in the past, more in a wrong way. Now I believe more in the right way. And I just had this impression in the time of the pandemic, in the year 2022, that I had this impression I'm just playing now again because I was addicted to video games, but I wasn't anymore at the time. But I just knew that that's something I'm just using an old habit to just fill a void, or not a void. I just wanted to fill the time, right? I wanted to fill the free time. A lot of free time because of the pandemic. A lot of people had this problem also. This free time, you are home, you're not allowed to go out. Sometimes you are positive and you just have to stay home. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this time. And I don't want to play because it's boring. I'm not learning anything. And honestly, in this time, I also started to, that's what I believe, it started in this time where I really spoke to my friend and said, you know what, I want to build something. I want to build something. I don't know, it's not enough for me anymore to play. I just want to build something. And yeah, there I was. And I had this impression that God is telling me, like in my heart, not directly, but in my heart, I felt like it's just old stuff. I don't want to play anymore. So I said, God, if you want me to stop playing, just give me something. Because I need to fill this time with something that makes sense. And I had just had this impression, start making YouTube content. And I was like, what? Like every person in my life, like, okay, not every person, but nearly every person in my workplace told me I'm not able to speak. And now God comes and tells me, you know what? Start creating YouTube content. I'm like, no, this can't be God. No way. No way this can be God. So I said, okay, if this is God, I will get a confirmation because otherwise I will not start it. So I worked in the hospital at that time in the office. So I was working, and suddenly all the time just came ideas to my mind, like this topic. You can speak about this topic, do this topic, this, and sometimes I was so overwhelmed by all the ideas that I just made side notes on my PC on my workplace to just, not forget all these ideas. And time after time, I really noticed that I have a lot of ideas, and I just started to make content. Yeah, it was not easy in the beginning. Honestly, I think not a lot of people will believe me, but anyways, I will just say it like it was, and it sometimes still is. I had issues, like health issues, but it was more like spiritual, because when I spoke with the doctors and they made different treatments to just find out if I'm really ill or something is wrong with my body, they all said I'm fine, I'm good. And I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm not good. Like, how can they tell me I'm healthy when I'm not? I don't want to get into the details, man, but it was a fight. It was the biggest fight I think I had in my whole life that started right there. And this health issues already started when, I got married. That's where the health issues started. And I got married on the 1st September of 2017. Sometimes I really forget that year. I think this was 2017 or 2018. But it was September 2017. And these health issues already have started. Directly after or at the time of my marriage. I'm not joking right here. But then when I started to make the videos, it got so worse. It got so bad. I cannot even tell everything and explain it. Like I said, doctor said I'm healthy. My mind, everything that I've experienced said, dude, you have big health issues. But I've never, in the past I could not understand it, but now I believe it was really a testing from God to let me grow in faith, to let me grow in trusting Him. But it was really the enemy. It was really spiritual attacks. It was. And yeah, that's how it started. I had all the time these findings. I couldn't just record the videos normally. All the time I had health issues interrupting my content. And until this day it got less, but it's still there sometimes. It's crazy, really, it's crazy. But I don't want to give too much attention to the enemy because God has his hand over everything, and everything that we experience, I mean, those that love God, is something that will leave us blessed at the end. So, yeah, but as I said, I had this realization I didn't want to play anymore. I must or I have to replace this habit. God, as I said, showed me what to do. I started with that. And yeah, I noticed I improved in like how I expressed myself, how I was speaking. I really improved in that. And I'm really thankful today because God is only God. But now I start to speak about the huge difference because when I started my German channel, I didn't had a lot of people following me. But at least it was 10 or 15. That's how I started. It was really fast. I got 10, 15 people. I got views. Not so many, but let's say between 3 and 30, let's say, in the beginning. And yeah, it was more easy than now with the English channel because the English channel I just started recently in the end of 2024. And when I started the English channel, honestly, it was okay. Confirmation that I worked in the hospital, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I just had a few views in my English channel. Just a few. Like, I made shorts sometimes that only had like 3 views. And I already had on the German channels a lot more. A lot. So, like I said, it was difficult for me, but how did I really start is I just had this impression again that God told me now in December 2024 to open a third channel, the English channel, and I was like, okay, God, yeah, I know you've shown me that like I improved, but now this is a different language and it's not always really easy for me to speak English all the time, making content in English. Sometimes it's really that just words are missing, and sometimes I have to stop the videos, like in the past especially, and even I have to restart the video or I have to, just cut the videos, but I don't like to cut them anymore because I think there is an authenticity. Oh my gosh. Like, let's say it's more authentic when I'm not cutting the videos anymore. Like, I just used to cut them a lot in the past, and like right now, I just got used to not do it anymore because, like, even for me right now, it's just more authentic when I'm not cutting all the time because also you learn to know me also with my mistakes. Okay, when I have like 1 minute time frame in my video where I'm not saying anything, I will cut that out, bro. I will cut that out for sure. But like the normal, no. The normal stuff I'm not cutting out anymore. So that's something really good that improved now. For me, it's an improvement to be free to not do that anymore. But you know, like I said, back to the topic. It was hard. But I just felt God leading me to do that. So I really started this English channel. And I was frustrated so much. Like, I mean, come on. I made, for example, this video where I said something about, let me see real quick. So I'm not telling you something that's not true. Let's say in the video, I will go through the fire. Just believe the fire is. You know, it has, until today, it has 0 views. And yeah, my shorts got more views, okay? But also in the beginning, my shorts didn't got that much views. So, you know, that really was so frustrating to me. It was so demotivating to me. Because, of course, I'm doing this for God, but it was all the time this fight between I'm doing it for God, but how does it help anybody if nobody really looks at my videos? Because I got used to people looking my videos because of my German channels. And I have 2 of them, you know. One for unbelievers and one for Christians. So yeah, that was the challenging part here for me. And I was like, God, do you want me to just quit? Do you want me to just delete this channel? Because it feels like it's a burden. I told him, it feels like it's a burden. You know, and that's the grace of God for me again right here. It felt like a burden. But God, you know, He answered me. Because I made it short, don't be fooled by words, look at the heart. Judas wasn't a good example. I got like 1,610 views. Out of nowhere, I was shocked, like, like this doesn't make any sense, because before there was not many that was looking at the shorts, but that motivated me. Like, it was a confirmation. Like, I know now that I don't need motivation every day. I don't need to be or to feel motivated every day to do the work for God. Yes, I know this now, but in this time where I really was fighting this thought of just delete this channel, because it didn't really seem to be like God was really speaking to me in the past to really do this, you know. I just wanted to be obedient, so I started, and today I just believe the devil wanted to convince me that it was never something that God told me, but I got the confirmations, you know. And then I made another video, Lost Your Context, because it was just the grace of God, man, that just gave me like a push to do the next thing. Just a push. That's grace. Sometimes you don't get much, but you get a push from God to keep going, okay? When you're just frustrated and you don't know what's going on, God will give you a push out of His grace, okay? And I needed that push. Because, man, there was a lot of comments and people just, you know, sometimes just felt like, dude, nobody's communicating with me, God. Nobody is asking something. Like, I also want to stay in contact with people. I want to, you know, just being also a good example for others, you know. And yeah, that's what I want. And I also want, what's the word in English? Right, I want to provide value to my audience, right? And yeah, that's something I really want to do. Is I really want to provide value and encouragement, of course. I want to encourage the people with these videos to keep going. And now you know more about who I am, but not only that. I gave you an example, like, don't give up on things when they don't seem to be growing, you know. Don't give up on things. God said that when we stay connected to Him, we will bring what? Fruit. And we will be what? Fruitful. And He sent us to be fruitful. okay? If you are not sure if God told you something, just ask him, and he will confirm the things that he already said. He will do that. He's a good father, man. He has so much grace for us, his children, man. It's just awesome. But another thing at the end, what I want to say is, why I was so discouraged was because there is so much more people in the world that speak English than German, okay? There's the Switzerland, where the people kind of speak German, but it's a different language. Sometimes it sounds like German, but it's kind of different. Then Austria, they speak German, and of course Germany. But like America, England, and you have other countries like Canada, and there are other countries, Australia. So much more people speak English, and I don't got a lot of views, and I was shocked, So, but like I said, when you think about quitting, just ask God before, Obedience is key. It's important to stay in obedience. It's important to follow God. And sometimes when the devil attacks, he wants to destroy the things that God has spoken to you. He wants to destroy and take away the stuff that God already has given to you. He wants to destroy and to steal. So he will attack your mind. And I'm telling you, that's something I had to learn on this way, And I believe, like for me today, being humble means also to being just ready to learn from others, to hear what others have to say and to just take the best out of it and just leave the rest behind. So for me, it's really important to stay humble, to stay teachable from people that have more experience than me, but also from like God, maybe he's saying something, why are you doing this, or do this better, different, in a different way, or why would you think of doing this right now? I didn't say this, God is God. Let's be obedient, because obedience is better than, come on, obedience is better than sacrifice, right? So I think everything is said what I wanted to say and share with you. I know it's dark right now. Maybe the light is not perfect, but you know what? Content is more important than the lights. That's something I really also had to learn on my way. But, you know what? I am really planning to have better light. I'm planning to make more videos in the future when I'm not depending anymore on the lights, on if it's dark or not. Because right now sometimes I'm really depending because my light is not that strong, and I'm not all the time in my office. So, and at home my light is not good enough, honestly. So I'm really planning a lot of stuff for the future, and yeah, it will be great. God has good plans also for your life. So whatever it is that God told you to do, keep going. It doesn't matter what other people are telling you. Don't forget, people told me I can't speak. I'm not able to speak. I shouldn't do stuff where I need to speak. All that things that God proved them wrong, okay? God is the one that will prove them wrong. You don't have to do anything just to follow him. God is the one that will prove them wrong. They're your enemies, he will prove them wrong. You don't. It is his fight, not yours. God bless you, people of God. Have a good day. I mean, now in Germany here is 9 o'clock, so we have evening. But yeah, I don't know when I will upload this video, so it doesn't make sense to share this with you. But now it's evening. Yeah. Anyways, God bless.